So I watched the two public advocate debates on New York One, and one of the huge issues that they discussed, Jumaane Williams, of course, beat Eric Ulrich, which they're very upset about. Eric wanted to keep Rikers Island open. The other folks didn't. But one of the issues they talked about was what Rikers Island was all about. Folks like Melissa Mark Viverito kept saying, hold on a second. Place is not really filled with hardened criminals. Lots of the folks that are kept there are just kept there. They haven't even been convicted yet. They're not even real bad people. The fact that we have them housed on this island and not opening up, jails around our communities is a joke. Well, thank God for Seth Barron, City Journal, and his column in yesterday's New York Post titled, "No One's Jailed at Rikers for the Crime of Being Too Poor," because he laid out statistics that spit right in the face of Viverito's and others' claims on that debate. So, first off, Seth, welcome to the Bernie and Sid Show. Secondly, terrific article. And thirdly, why don't you give our listeners some of those numbers, the real numbers that tell the absolute truth about Rikers Island and specifically cash bail?
Sure. Glad to be on. And I'm glad you liked the article. Well, yeah, there is this myth that most of the people on Rikers Island are there because they just can't afford to get out. And that they're there that they're innocent, that they're there just for, dropping a piece of litter on the sidewalk or, jumping the turnstile on their way to their third job. But in reality, most of the people on Rikers Island can't be bailed out. Maybe they're there serving, people do serve their sentences there. A lot of people are there waiting transfer upstate. And a lot of them are not eligible for bail because maybe they have a warrant or because, they committed a serious crime. 11% of the people there are being held for, murder or manslaughter. 20% are in for robbery or burglary. And another quarter face, very serious weapons charges, felony assault, rape, sexual offenses. There's not a lot of people in there for jumping the turnstile or smoking some weed. On an average day, there's one person on Rikers for marijuana possession.
That's amazing. One person. And by the way, that didn't stop Robert Kennedy and his sister, the governor's ex-wife, Kerry Kennedy, from initiating this mass bailout program that ended in failure. Tell us about that.
Well, they decided that the real problem is that all these minors and women were being held. So, they wanted to get everybody out, but they focused on minors and women, and they were just going to just pay their bail. Now, even the mayor and the police commissioner said, they said this is a really bad idea. We don't know who's in there, who you're letting out, and they wound up bailing out this kid. You call him a kid, but Rakeem Parker, who was 18, 1 week after he was captured on video beating the heck out of a corrections officer.
I saw that.
Now, he'd been in 8 times before, and then they bailed him out. He skipped bail, and I guess they caught up to him eventually. But it was a terrible, terrible incident, and so they stopped the program after that. But
he didn't show up in court for his next appearance, by the way.
No. He skipped the bail. So. The problem with Rikers is that 75% of the people there have been arrested before.
And you say some of those people have been arrested multiple times in the same year.
Sure. There's people who've been there like 6 or 7 times in 1 year. These are not mostly kids. The median age of someone at Rikers is 36 years old.
You know what really burns my ass, Seth, besides a flame about 4 feet high, is when I hear these people complain about the conditions. Now, look, I'm a person, and I do understand not everybody's an animal, and some are human beings at Rikers Island, some.
Sure.
But when I hear about the conditions being poor, when I hear local politicians complaining that these people have committed, like you said, murder, rape, all these serious crimes, don't like the hotel they're staying at, am I the only one who gets really furious? Like, I can't, their lives can't be miserable enough for me.
Well, I can imagine if, you don't want things to be like so horrible. We don't, at the same time, we don't, it's okay that it's not like, the Hilton. Maybe they have a point on that. I don't know. I haven't been to Rikers. But, the thing is that we have reduced the number of people there by a lot since the early 90s. There's way fewer people there already. but violence is higher because we have a concentrated element of serious criminals there. I'm not saying that the conditions at Rikers are great or that they're horrible. I don't know that closing the system down and then building local jails is going to make things any better.
No. Or letting them out on the street, for God's sake.
Letting them out on the street is a bad idea. These are serious. These are serious.
That's exactly right. Now, and that's the myth that they perpetrate this myth or perpetuate the one that it's a 19-year-old kid, first offense, he robbed a pair of sneakers and he can't afford $500 bail. That's not the case. As you pointed out, the average or the median age is 36, and a lot of times these their families, as you point out, they're sick of these guys. They don't want to bail them out.
It takes a long time to wind up on Rikers. Usually people get, a ticket. They get adjourned. They get many chances. Once you're really on Rikers, you've been through the system, and your family's been through the system. If a family wants to bail this guy out, he's just going to wind up on their couch. A lot of the time, it's the families who are the first victims.
Yep. Very true.
No, you make great points, Seth Barron. Listen, it's a great article, NewYorkPost.com. No one's jailed at Rikers for the crime of being too poor, folks. Wake up.
It's the truth. Finally, somebody telling the truth. We've been lied to for a long time here. Seth, excellent job. Keep up the great work. Thanks for hopping on, pal.
Thank you.
You got it. More of Bernie and Sid on a Thursday right after these words.